Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. Very, very easy runs. Do not anticipate this easiness to proceed forever. All we get is the Forgotten. It's the Forgotten and the Keeper all day and every day. WQE63MLA. What I meant to say, by the way, was it's the Forgotten all night, oh, every night. She said, any way you want it, that's the way you need it. Any way you want it, go, 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 go. It's called Journey. You know what I'm going to tell you next. And some, if you want to learn a little bit more about that band, I got two big websites for you. Rap Genius and Wikipedia. That's, between those two websites, you can find out anything you need to know about a hardcore, serious, artistic-driven music. Yo, we just got 5 bombs in 2 rooms. Let's go. Let's go check this out. You know, Let's Go has really been, it's been retired a little bit lately. You know, the meta's fallen out for us, I think. It has become, as many people would say, I mean, for comfortably numb, but also like the universal pop-off of 2018, and I know that we're in 2019. You know, it's deliberately why I'm kind of saying it like that. We need a new thing to say, though, when we make Unity happen. Because Let's Go is just, it's a little played out. It's a little old at this point. Me, new hotness, you old and busted. What do you got for me? I know you're paying out. You might as, why are you making it such a difficult scenario? You know, and I know, I'm leaving this room with 2 HP. Why are you leaving it all in question? Yo, that's not 2 HP. That's a lone Bumbus. I think I'm actually like... Can you get that? You can get that. You can't get that. I'm actually pretty stoked to have a Bumbo. But I don't really want to use a bomb to get Bumbo 5 cents. Let's be realistic. My man's is gonna get the money he needs regardless. Probably not that much to worry about. Just go ahead and take that money right there. And this one belongs to me. Okay. I mean, I'm happy with where we're at. The Bumbo, you know, on the house. Didn't mean to pick that up, actually, even though I deliberately walked towards it. You know what, Bumbo? Go ahead. Get 1 level ahead, my man. That's what it means to be a parent in Isaac, is you know, your Bumbo is hungry, and your Bumbo, dare I suggest, want coin. You give your Bumbo coin. That's what you sign up for as a parent. And then your Bumbo, sometimes he give key. Curse of Darkness. Not a bad curse. The curses in this game are very variable, you know? They're like physical ailments, you know? Sometimes you get a curse, and your curse is like, you know, life-changing. Sometimes you get a curse, my bone hearts, and your curse is like, my eyes aren't that good. I need to wear lenses to read. This is like on the spectrum of glasses, basically. This is not that big of a deal. Losing the bone heart actually is that big of a deal. I really doubt it's going to have a super meaningful impact on the run, but I will suggest and admit that it could. If we get hit one more time, we're pretty much going to be in like non-stop playing as the spirit territory, and that's okay too. Like, truth be told, getting Holy Light makes playing as the spirit not really that complicated. Not to mention the fact that we've already gotten, ooh, careful, a damage upgrade and a tears upgrade as well. Makes it a lot easier. Probably a secret room. Oh, and a spirit heart? You're too good to me, Bumbus. I'm getting worried, and, you know, this is there's probably something a therapist could tease out here. Oh, that's not how you do that. Things are going so well in Isaac in terms of, like, just the assortment of items and the quality of the seeds that we're getting that I'm like waiting for the other shoe to drop, and I'm like, yo bro, when are you gonna hit me with that keeper random? We all know it's coming. I get you're setting me up, but pretty soon you're gonna knock me down with that keeper roll. I'll take it. I think it's okay. You know, it's not one of Sinvicta's top 64 items in the Binding of Isaac, but that doesn't mean it's not worth it. If you haven't been watching, by the way, and, you know, just due to the way the backlog works, Dan the Pokemon 69, thank you for the subscription. There's probably going to be a bunch of those if there haven't been already. Twitch has implemented some changes to the way resubscriptions work, so just for, like, the next week, you're able to share your subscription at essentially any time. So there might be more of those than usual on the screen. Wait, where was I going with this? I forget. It doesn't matter. It's Isaac. Oh, that's what I was going to say. I was going to give a shout out to Sinvicta, who we've been doing some videos together on his channel for a tournament that he's producing about, you know, what's the fan favorite item in Isaac. So we've done a few of those over at his YouTube channel. Go check it out if you're interested in the Isaac metagame, what items are well liked. Hey, you want to get in an argument over this item's better than this item? I can get down with that. I don't like getting into real arguments, but I like to test out my argumentation skills over stuff that is meaningless, you know? Like what item is better than what item in a video game. It's like simulated verbal violence. Take the money. Oh, you don't deprive my Bumbo like that and expect to get away with it. Alright, we're on full Spirit Hearts, which honestly is like a lesson. And the lesson is we should use the Spirit just so that the HP we burn, you know, we got something to do with it. But on the other hand, I'm not going to do that because I prefer to swing my bone. And if you want to take that out of context, by all means, brother. Excuse me, you're alive? I'm worried that you could kill me were you to hit me. I guess not, though. You know what? Toss that half Spirit Heart away. We're doing fine. 100% chance for a deal with the devil as long as we don't lose the Bone Heart. Alright, everything's coming up, Millhouse. It's good. It's, you know, it's a Monday. My Mondays are everybody's Mondays, you know, for the most part. Well, that's not really true. My Sundays are kind of like Mondays. You got it. That's not a door. Mondays are like the second work day. First day back at the stream. Oh no, this is I stream on Sunday as well. I don't know, man. I've been having like time dilation is happening to me in a big way. Like we were talking about it on Unity last week. So that's last Tuesday, literally 6 days ago. And we mentioned something and we were like, man, that's like ancient history. When did that happen? And the answer to the question is it happened last week. Like, I think I spend so much time talking to myself that it seems like there is, like, a marathon between each stream. Like, sometimes I'll remember something and mislead myself, if that makes sense. We definitely want this. And you know what? Let's reroll that son of a gun just to... Absolutely not. What I mean by that is, I guess, a little convoluted, but... like, we do an NLSS on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Sometimes on Thursday, I will think back and be like, hey, remember when this happened on the show? That was wild, right? And then Austin will be like, dude, that was yesterday. I don't think that my brain is... I mean, everybody's brain as you age, past a certain point at least, it gets worse. I mean, it gets worse and it gets better. You know, it's like a car... that it needs basic maintenance to be done on it, but simultaneously you learn how to drive it better. You know, I'm getting more accustomed to my brain on an annual basis, learning a little bit more about what makes it tick, what makes it stick, and how to make it tick instead of stick. And I'm just gonna stop saying that because I'm worried I'm gonna get caught by Google DeepMind's language filters at some point. But anyway, I think it's more just like, you know, when I was younger, I remember what I did on absolutely every single day, because I didn't do that much with my life. You know, I could tell you, like, what I had for dinner every single day within, like, the past month when I was 16 years old. Now I'm like, Kate and I were having a conversation, and we were like, did we go out for ramen last night? Or was it 2 nights ago? And she was like, it was definitely last night. And then we both thought about it for like 15 minutes, and we were like, well, let's be honest, like 30 seconds. And then we were like, no, that was definitely 2 nights ago. It's just, I wanted to see if maybe that affected my bone heart. Obviously, that doesn't really make any sense. We gotta stop losing our bone hearts. It's unbecoming of someone with Isaac experience and acumen. I think it's just sort of the science of life, you know, is that the more you do, and it's not like I'm so busy, I'm constantly on the phone with Jeff Bezos. Hey, Jeffrey, stop helping me make so much money. You know, the banks won't, they needed to open a new bank to hold all the vaults. It's more just like, you know, I work every single day, and I think as a result, well, every single day except Saturdays. And I think, you know, as a result of that, the days, they whip by, man. They go by super quick. Or even if the days go slow, the weeks go by, like, in a heartbeat. Like, I can't believe. I know it's kind of like I don't want to say in vogue, but, like, on Twitter, people are like, oh, January, the longest year of my life. Yeah, I mean, I get it. Believe it or not, I actually get it. You know, like, January is a gloomy month for a lot of people. But simultaneously, I'm like, bro, I can't believe it's already, like, February. Next week is gonna be, like, basically Valentine's Day. We should not be doing this, but when have I ever let that stop me? That's actually a huge get. I can live with this. Should have handled it a little differently. This run's been a little sloppy. It's the danger of having too many good runs in a row. Like, I no longer feel like years go by slowly. I feel like they're whipping by. Ah! I'm almost dead. And sometimes I hear people say that as like, I mean, it is something that I guess like is melancholy for sure. When I was younger, and this is not meant to be an old man bit, but when I was younger, like, you know, when I was 14, that was like the year of being 14 years old was an odyssey. You know, because every event is more significant to you when it's like one of the first times it's ever happened to you in your life and stuff like that. Now, like, 1 year is just like, yeah, you know, maybe this year's not gonna be so hot, we'll move on to the next one. Oh, this year's awesome. You know, it's, the chapters are much larger. By the way, speaking of which, I started reading The Brothers Karamazov. Don't make the same mistake I did. And I'm not saying it's a bad book. But I went, you know, I haven't read in a while. I mean, I want to get back into reading, you know. I'm doing physical exercise. Let's make sure we're still doing the mental exercise. You know, like, watching Jeopardy is all well and good, but I don't know in the whole scheme of things if it's actually, like, helping me maintain mental plasticity in that, to the degree that I would like to. You know what? Still pretty scared of this room. Either way, I was like, you know what? I'll just pick up a quick Dostoevsky novel. Bought it, 10 bucks. Pretty cheap as far as, you know, a classic of literature goes. And then I looked at it and it said it's 865 pages. Oh boy. You know, I hope you're ready for the Karamazov era. Is gonna be a long one, apparently. I mean, since December, I've read, like, I read The Stranger, A Handmaid's Tale, Brave New World. Yo, huge plays. Except we picked that up as the wrong unit. There's more. I can't. Oh, Slaughterhouse 5. I think there's one more in there that I've forgotten. Oh, we read Notes from Underground by Dostoevsky. All of those books put together are smaller for sure. Oh, we read The Old Man and the Sea as well. Are smaller for sure than the Brothers Karamazov. Now, like, I'm an adult. You know, I'm at the point in my life where I recognize just because a book is longer, it doesn't mean it's, you know, necessarily harder to read. You know, there's lots of really big books that are read by children. And I'm not trying to insult Harry Potter fans when I say that. I'm just saying, just because a book is long, it just takes longer to finish. It doesn't really test your reading comprehension, you know, to that degree, necessarily, I guess. But I'm just saying, it's gonna take a while. On the bright side, as compared to... I liked Notes from Underground, and I understood, you know, the lessons that, to some extent, it was trying to impart. Not so much about how to live, but more about, you know... I mean, I feel like I'm getting the theme of a lot of Dostoevsky's work. There's, like, two big ones. One of them is, nothing can be pure unless you've suffered. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I feel that. And then the other one is, like, man is a shivering demon. A specter of, a veneer of goodwill pasted ramshackle over our true spirits, which are dark. So I'm starting to pick that up in a big way. But apart from that, I don't know, 840 pages to go, so I'll see you in several years. Alright, how's this run going? It's got everything the body needs, except a little bit of hit points would be nice. I don't even want to talk about it because I think it's like... Here's the thing. At least... And I've been watching basically every Jeopardy episode for 2 months. Every time I watch an episode, there are 1 or 2 answers where I answer so wrong that I know people would make fun of me if I were on TV. For the most part, you know, I got good trivia knowledge, but sometimes... You know, you just go, oh, that's William Butler Yeats. And then they go, nah, it's William Tennyson. And you realize that, you know, they lived like 300 years apart or something. This is a complete hypothetical. I don't know when either of them lived. But either way, you know, so I don't want to make fun of anybody else for not knowing a Jeopardy question or a Jeopardy answer, especially when they, you know, got the cojones to get on the show in the first place. All I'm going to say, and I'm taking a chance on this bad boy right here, but all I'm going to say... is within the past week,
feels like I'm walking on sunshine.
There was a Canadian man on the program. He did fantastically. He was crushing it, and he was already starting to develop kind of a personality. You know, some of these Jeopardy contestants, they get a real personality after they've been on the show for a while. Oh, this is the guy that does the tiger claws during his introduction. You know, this guy writes a heart with his name, you know, every time he's on. He was already starting to, you know, get a little bit of a demeanor about him. It looked like he was going to crush Final Jeopardy. Made a couple mistakes at the end of Double Jeopardy. And I know you're like, oh, this is riveting. Tell me more. It's my show and I'll talk about Jeopardy if I want to. But ended up not having what's known as a runaway game going into Final Jeopardy. The question was, the first 4 singles of this New York locals singing career went to #1 in the 1990s. And I think everybody on planet Earth except this poor man was like, yo, bro, it's Mariah Carey. Comes up. I can't remember what he said. It might have been Britney Spears. It might have been Whitney Houston. But 2 different eras. But got it wrong. Lost. Honestly, looked like he had the chops to be a 5 or 6 day champion minimum. Get himself in the Tournament of Champions. Do our country proud. And it just goes to show you, you know, Final Jeopardy category is not in your wheelhouse. Everything can change for you. That being said, I was like, bro, you don't know who Mariah Carey is? Like, I'm used to on Jeopardy, and I'm not making fun of people for being nerds. I'm the one watching the show every day. But you know, it already gets made fun of from time to time. Oftentimes, depending on the caliber of contestant, you know, you'll have 3 contestants who literally know nothing about sports. So they'll be like, you know, Wayne Gretzky played ice blank, and then, you know, nobody will answer. And, you know, it's always surprising a little bit the lack of breadth of knowledge that some people have about sports. I'm not saying it's meaningful information, but you know what else is not meaningful information? Who wrote The Charge of the Light Brigade? Guess what? Is Tennyson. But simultaneously, you know, it's not like that's mission critical for living your life either. That's not really a test of what Jeopardy, you know, does. Jeopardy's about it's about trivial knowledge. I'm actually going to Emperor card out. I'm going to give this a shot. But to not know Mariah Carey is just very surprising to me. The same guy answered, you know, questions about, like, Spanish-American literature influences. And that's impressive. Don't get me wrong. I'm not shaming him, even though it did cost him, you know, potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars in lost winnings. I'm sure if he'd known that it was going to be the final Jeopardy category, he would have been like, okay, you know what, I'll study. I don't think we want any of those, to be honest. Normally, I wouldn't anticipate these to be that good, but I'm going to take them just because we got 3 Spirit Hearts anyway. We'll move on. This run's a little touchy. I felt bad for him because, you know, I mean, it just goes to show you one bad category can throw your whole game off, you know? Just like Cliff on Cheers. You know, you got a runaway game, you're feeling confident, all of a sudden, Final Jeopardy, you're writing down what are 3 people who have not been in my kitchen. If you're not following Jeopardy, by the way, you're missing out. It's the greatest esport of all time because on any given day, you can actually be better than the contestants. Now, some days, if you've been watching the Netflix episodes, don't take that as a representation of Jeopardy in general. That would be a grave error. You know, not everybody... There's 2 Ken Jennings on planet Earth, okay? There's Ken Jennings and Brad Rutter. Losing to them, like, you will never defeat them in a game. If you defeat them in a game, you should audition for Jeopardy. And I'm not being facetious in the least. You're a trivia mastermind. People are like, man, NL, you keep a lot of trivia in your brain. How do you do that? You should go on Jeopardy. I want to. If I ran into a Ken Jennings, Brad Rutter type, I would lose 100% of the time. Just to cut from a different cloth, okay? But, you know, when you watch, like, a Smash Ultimate tournament on Twitch, you might be like, you know, why did he do that? But there's never a time where you're like, I would have won that game. You know, if I was playing any of those individuals in Smash, let's be honest, any of us watching would probably lose 100% of the time. When you watch Jeopardy, I mean, you gotta factor in the buzzer, admittedly, but there are times when you're just like, I would have won this episode. I would have won like 30 G's here. Now, I'm not saying that's a consistent feeling. I think I know where I stand. You know, if I get the Jeopardy online test is hard, you gotta make it through that. Then you gotta make it through the audition. And I think realistically, if I had to peg where I stand for being on the show, I would probably be a loser or a one-time winner. That's my estimation. I do tend to lose, probably. We're working on it. But there are some days where you're like, you know, if lightning had struck, if I had been on this show, you know, you'd be looking at, you know, whose one-day cash winnings total. Anyway, I'm way talking myself up here. Let's switch so we don't lose our deal with the devil. And good setup, except Pageant Boy is obviously terrible. Oh, you know what? I should have let Bumbo get fat there. I've been taking way too many coins off the top. No paralyses, please. Infested's okay. But all in all, we consider this a pretty big whiff. I think we'll be fine. I think we'll win. Not on Jeopardy. Who knows? Might not even make it past the online test. I've heard it's very difficult. It's one of those things where, you know, everybody... The Jeopardy subreddit is very unique in that a lot of people who go there have actually been on the show. And they'll tell you, everybody that's on Jeopardy knows the answer to almost every question. Everybody on the show has gone through basically a battery of skill testing assessments to figure out, you know, whether they're capable of being on the show and capable of being, you know, not just a good contestant from the perspective of, you know, being able to carry a conversation with Alex Trebek without, you know, saying like, hey buddy, F you! But also to be able to actually compete, you know? I think we definitely want Parasitoid Tears. But it's very hard to reconcile that when they pop a picture of Uncle Cracker up on the screen, and then, you know, they ask a question that's like, who's this? And then somebody goes, what is Kid Cudi? That one will throw you for a loop, but you just gotta... I guess at the end of the day, you just gotta recognize that, you know, different people's strengths lie in different domains. You know, if you popped a picture of, like, Vaughn Williams up on the screen and said, hey, smart guy, who's this? I'd be like, I don't know. Who's done more for music? Von Williams or Uncle Kracker? Well, you mean like in my lifetime? Because in my lifetime, you know, Uncle Kracker. I mean, Von Williams has probably been dead since like the 30s or something. But, you know, overall, did Von Williams write Pomp and Circumstance? Is that... Because if so, that's also Macho Man Randy Savage's intro music, so, I mean, you gotta give him credit where credit's due. Bum, 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 boom, bum, ooh, ah, boom, bum, 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 boom, boom. I'm going to stand... Oh, hold on. See, this is why you look it up. Pomp and Circumstance. Sir Edward Elgar. I thought he was Arwen's dad. Gets smoked. Okay. So Succubus is a wonderful pickup. That's Elrond. NL. That's Elrond. I know it's friggin' Elrond. Don't even start with me. And I know that the Bolero is by Ravel. Now. Be popping this at all times. I've been a little distracted on this run, no doubt. We definitely, like, we've thrown away HP. Should probably had no reason to throw away. But we got a good thing going on here. Another major mistake is we should not have taken BBF. BB-8, different story. I'd take that little bundle of fun anywhere. BBF has probably cost us as much HP as enemies over the past couple of floors. Do our best to nip that in the bud before it becomes real dangerous. Well, that's okay. We're still doing fine here. Just don't get hit. I mean, we just by virtue of the fact that, you know, the run is, you know, I mean, we're 24 minutes on the Isaac fight. You can tell where we're at in terms of, like, actual likelihood to succeed, and the answer is we're very, very, very likely to succeed. But it can all go wrong on the chest if you try to cash in your chips before it's prudent to do so. By that, I mean, you know, you go... Ooh, Bloody Lust could be good. Like, Bloody Lust plus Boneheart is a wonderful combo until you lose your Bonehearts. Run. Ah, you got me! Alligator took me down to my prime. Okay, we need more Spirit Arts. If we have to roll this whole run as the Spirit, by all means. No problem. But personally, especially with Little Chad, I actually don't dislike the idea. If we want to get super funky, we could even... Oh god, I'm excited. And that's what I wanted to do there. I wanted to get hit once, we get a little extra damage out of Bloody Lust, then we go back, it makes Succubus better, it makes our flies better, oh my god. We go back and pick that up. You know, we get stronger as a result. No Bumbo, relax, dude. He did spit out an item. Dude, it's Rotten Baby, that's an incredible get. Thank you. Yeah, so we should be fine. Anyway, I love talking about Jeopardy. It's not everybody's cup of tea, without a doubt. This is a huge get for us, to be honest. But I never realized, you know, there's such a Jeopardy community online. And it's not, you'd be surprised. I think the show gets a bad rap. It's not a community of fuddy-duddy, 70-year-old people who own 19 villas. And, you know, oh, I work as a librarian at Oxford, you know? I mean, there's people like that, and more power to them. But, you know, it's a young, vibrant community. As far as I'm concerned, if you get a half hour a day to watch a television program and you're watching the news, forget that, dude. You want to really learn something about the world around you? Let Alex Trebek be your senpai. I know what I said. Sad bombs are a wonderful choice here. Death, death. I don't know why I thought one of those would be different. So we're hitting every dead end in the world right now. Look, did you see the damage? the sad bomb did there. All of a sudden, I'm very happy I took BBF. I still wish it were BB-8, but that's a different story for a different day. Isaac's heart, no thank you. Look at the sad bomb bone heart damage. It's incroyable. What is French for incredible, I think. Don't. You son of a gun. I was just about to say don't hit me. And you come in here talking that guff, hitting me, not respecting my wishes. Who said you could eat my sandwich? What is friends? 1999? Alright, I am super ready for this. 3 hits. That'll do. For now, a little bit of a touchy run, but thanks for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. And of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Later.